Today, in European news surrounding the Great War, we will be discussing women in both propaganda and the war effort.
As war has been declared abroad, the Allied powers have ramped up campaigns to build their respective volunteer armies, and their tactics have not been subtle.
At the forefront of this propaganda are the voices of women, which have so often been ignored, but are important in uniting the Allied powers against our enemy.
We go first to Caitlyn with a woman who has been supportive of the war effort since the news broke several months ago.
Hi.
Hi.
Why, as a European woman, do you plan to help the war effort in the Great War?
Well, I saw all these signs and posters around my town telling me essentially that if I loved my country, then I would put my best effort towards defending it.
Right.
And my husband is already on the front lines, as are many of his friends, and I just wish to help him and all those men in their efforts.
That's great. And how exactly do you plan to help?
Well, I plan to be a nurse, and some of my friends have started victory gardens.
So they're going to grow food to help send to the soldiers?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra, for that inspiring insight.
Within war propaganda, women are being used in multiple ways to convince men to go to war.
Propaganda is not always effective in convincing everyone to become involved in the war effort. Critics say that our governments manipulate people on the edge and make their decision for them. One woman is here to comment.
How do you feel about the current Great War going on in Europe?
I think all those men fighting for something bigger than themselves is great, but I believe most men are being manipulated into joining the war.
Why do you feel like this?
The majority of propaganda uses women and their sex appeal to romanticize the war and idealize what the conditions are. Actually, people shouldn't have to die for some greater cause because their government told them it was noble.
Thank you, Chloe, for your thoughts.
War propaganda using women as subjects plays on emotional and a sexual appeal. We also see that it shows a stereotype of men needing to protect the homeland. And as you can see here, it shows this woman saying, if I were a man, I'd join the Navy. However, the most important development that we see is that even though women are used in some ways that are negative in propaganda, that they do step up during the war effort in ways as being nurses, clerks, and supporting their local military branches, which show us the devotion to their countries.
As the Great War wages on, men continue to find their ways to the front lines, and women are finding ways to support them both at home and abroad. Never before has the Western world seen such a dynamic change in the attitudes and actions of women who refuse to sit idly by.
They're supporting the war, telling men to go fight, or they are not. Women of Europe and beyond are telling people that they should be allowed to make up their own minds about fighting in the Great War, where hundreds of thousands potentially may sacrifice their lives for their countries.